uh, I don't have any subscribers to annoy with updates, so I can just put out a bunch of videos. Having a big day thinking today. A lot of days are like that. As I move to part-time in my retail position, just to kind of keep things going while I start generating other income streams, because I'm not stupid. As that happens, I will probably be doing this a lot more, but I'm not just going to do like 40-minute edited videos, or maybe I will. Maybe that's the best way to do it, so I don't inundate people. Or maybe just don't subscribe or to updates. You know, I'm going to update a lot. This is a little Twitterish right now. As I get busier, I'll probably slow it down. That'd be great. Beginning, I'll probably be updating a lot, because there's a lot I have to say, a lot of groundwork I have to lay for everything I'm trying to do with my perspective, my life, and my family's life. Like, we have goals that can mesh together, and we have to lay a foundation for that. So, back to what I actually wanted to say before I started this video. Okay, what the hell was it this time? Because there's a bunch of stuff that goes through my head all the time, and I'll remember it later. Point being, I have something... Oh yeah, I just thought I was going to be able to set up that tent today, but I have a few things on my plate. I have to go pick up a resized wedding ring for comfort. You know, I got it pretty good before, but it wasn't perfect. Okay, so I had to get the ring resized. So then I have to cook dinner, and then I have to run a D&D game. Yeah, I play D&D. Actually, I'm a game designer, so fuck it. Like, life is life, and you choose to enjoy yourself any way you want. And I don't know why I felt I had to explain that. Whatever. So, with the whole good guy, bad guy thing, there are two perspectives I can take on the fact that I just had to text my fiancée and tell her that I can't actually get it set up today and get the pictures taken because I don't have time. One, it could be acknowledgement of my own limitations, and, you know, the way I texted, I said, oh, well, within the time allotted, I can't get this up today, but it's well staged. I tied it up and put it under a shelter so that it won't get rained on. And I tied it up lightly so someone could untie it, and I made sure to tie it up because there was it's under a dog house with a roof, and there's a little pit that the dog had dug. So that was what got me thinking, like, well, shit, someone could it's a trap, basically. Someone could twist their ankle if they try to get here. So I have to get this tarp out of the way, which I was like, okay, well, also it's going to rain. I have it under the roof, but there's like a hole in the corrugated metal, and rain can splash through. It seems like it rained recently, and it seems like the soil's a little damp, right? Which is why I put the tarp down in the first place. So, also, it's a pain in the ass to try to put this thing up by myself because it's a complicated tent. So there's all these factors that go into it. There's this selfish stuff, there's unselfish stuff, and that's just what we do. I mean, you don't have to be purely motivated by good or bad. So I texted her and I said, okay, well, I don't have the time allotted, but look, I staged it pretty good. If I'd give her the winning smile, it could be this dark, thing like, hey, look, I did this great thing. Or if I just say, hey, that's all I could do right now. And there's a lot of other people in this house. We have like 8 people in the house, and I'm not the only one who's smart. Everyone here is extraordinary in some way. So they can handle that. I don't have to do everything, and I don't have to be the hero complex, right? So I don't have to make up for all the dark thoughts I've had in my life. I don't have to make up for all the pain that I've actually inflicted, not in like any terrible, terrible way. Like, I've never been a criminal, but I've been an asshole. I don't have to make up for that, per se. Not right now. I make up for it by continuing to live and maybe helping people see that even though we were both in dark places in our life, at other parts of our life, maybe there's a way out for you too. So you won't accept my apology. And we both know who we all are. There are a bunch of people in my life that won't accept my apology, and a bunch of people whose apology I won't accept yet. So all I can do is say, guess what, everybody? If we were all not like that, maybe we wouldn't have these conflicts. But, you don't have to decide to do that either. Maybe you're the curmudgeonly person who says the thing that somehow wakes someone up 10 years later. Maybe that's your role in life, and that's good. You don't have to be like a happy person if you don't want to be. Maybe you enjoy the role of, oh, well, I've always been, whatever your fucking role is. You enjoy your role. But just do the best at it without fucking everyone else's game or story or life up. So I have the sides here where I'm actually relieved that I don't have to do that. And I can sit here, wait for my friend to show back up to pick up the van that I just used. And I don't have to go try to rapidly erect a tent in hot weather where I suck at hot weather. And I'd be miserable, but I pretend I wasn't. Because I'm like, hey, I want to do this for you. It's an important thing we're doing here. It has to go up. Because it's the first stage of a plan for a nice business that my fiance is running. And at best, I'm assisting. I have my own projects, she has her projects. But everyone has room. There's enough projects for everybody. We can assist each other without having to take over, without having to infiltrate someone else's dream. I think the best way to be creative is to collaborate, yes. But when it's not your project, just get in there and say, what do you need? What do I have to offer you? Because it's your thing, it'll make it so much better. But guess what? You're the one who has the vision for it. And my idea may seem better to me, but it's not if you have the bigger vision. So yeah, same goes for anyone who would collaborate with me. I have a vision for my thing. It's just my thing though. Take what you learn working with me, if you do, and use it in yours. And you say it better in your way. But we're not competing. I'm not competing with you. You can compete with me if you want. But I'm not competing with anybody. I don't have to. No one else sees what I see. And no one else sees what you see. So we are going to be doing our own things. And you know what? I think the net result of that is good. And we'll also be able to point out where other people are doing shit they don't think we see. That's what I'm going to teach you guys from my perspective. Those of you who need to be taught. Other people already get it, but maybe can't express it. If you can't express it the way I can, maybe I can be helpful that way. And you can talk to me and say, hey, well, you're kind of missing this one part that's like this. And I'll be like, oh, you mean, oh, shit, you're right. Or, oh, wow, I never even saw it that way. So talk to me no matter what, whether you have more to say on something, or I taught you something, or any of it. Like, I'm going to make some money doing my creative thing because I think we all deserve to live. We all deserve to live. And right now we're in a capitalist society. And it seems to be the best option, sadly. For now. I mean, maybe we'll get nice nanotech where it'll be like, hamburger. And you hold out your hand and you see, like that. Or something. You eat hamburger. And then suddenly a hot dog appears. And you're like, fucking Windows. Whatever. I'm corny. I run all over the place. I can play characters. But that's because I was sick and I had characters. And we'll get into that. I had dissociative identity disorder and I integrated. If you have trouble with that and you don't just want to live there and point out how awesome your system is and look at the superpowers I have. Yeah, I had superpowers and I still do. But now I have full control over them. And because of them, I use them as templates to make new things. So I can play characters, I can do voices, I can take perspectives that are not fully as deep as a real person, but behind there is me, and I'm a real person, so it looks real. You see? So I put on masks, I have masks, and that's part of my game too. Like there's a thingy in there called a mask that we can all wear, you know, like we just take on personas, roles in society and things like that. Well, as needed though. If you use it with control and you don't abuse it to trick people, you just say, guess what? No, right now I'm your assistant. So tell me what you need. Right now I'm your doctor, so you need to listen to me. Right now I'm your mechanic, and I think you really shouldn't pay that much for that, but at the same time, if you did that, it would prevent this. You know, so that's all it is. We take on personas and roles, not personas, because persona, it kind of gets a little too shady there. Not a persona, just a role. And sometimes the role is comical. Sometimes the role is an act, because sometimes it's saying something about that perspective from another perspective. But it doesn't mean that a mask, even a caricature, is correct, even if it bites. It doesn't have to be correct. It could be a flawed surface view of something. I'm looking for nuance in life. I want people to be nuanced. I want people to understand nuance and understand that this right versus left is just a polarity, that when we look at both sides at the same time, we understand that the whole thing's necessary. But maybe things are out of balance. Things are out of whack. And people need to understand their own perspective, and that there's value in other people's perspective. And when the perspective is too low, and therefore it's kind of throwing the whole thing out of whack, that's the main problem. We got to elevate our perspective so we understand that integrated as a society, as a life, as a world, things go better. That's my mission, but it's not necessarily yours. I mean, that sounds dangerous to a lot of people. Don't even worry about that. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm making games. I'm not going to do the thing where I actually create socialism within capitalism via service type thing. I'm not going to do that because I know that'll turn out real bad. And then it becomes like, oh, look, he's got the mark of the beast. And he's making it so people can't buy or sell without him and bullshit like that. I'm making games. You guys do your own thing. I have an idea for the other thing, and it actually is a slow thing, and it can start with no money. Yeah, so people can do things. And people mess each other up. Sometimes intentionally. Sometimes unintentionally. And sometimes because they can't see what's really going on. So they mess each other up. My mother messed me up. She gave me a lot to carry through my life. And she actually was so smart that she was able to do it in such a fucked up way that I couldn't help but believe her for a little while. So I'm not leading anybody except to say, like, look, and guess what? I'm okay with Jesus and stuff. I'm not Christian. I'm not an antichrist, though. I am not. Now, why would I have to say that? If you keep staying tuned, maybe you'll see. Because I'm going to lay everything out, and I'm not saying follow me. Do not. All I'm saying is look over there. What do you see over there? That's it. That's all I can do, because I'm not in charge of anything except me. And you are in charge of you. We're all in charge of us. And I don't know if it'll result in peace, per se, for the whole world. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big, crazy, nutty shit thing. But maybe in our individual lives, we will not be carrying the piece of hell that maybe even we escape with us and putting it on other people. I can speak very poetically. I can speak beautifully and movingly. And I'm going to do that. But remember, let it bleed off and then see if there's anything left. Let the emotional charge that you get from anything bleed off. And then see if there's still any value there. Laters.